1988 gave us songs that refused to fade. From 2 a.m. guitar riffs on Malibu porches to videos that changed MTV forever, these tracks defined what rock and roll could be. They pushed boundaries, broke rules, and left us wanting more. Still craving more. Check out our video on the top 10 rock songs from 1987. More anthems, more memories, and one unforgettable year right before this.
I just went ahead and chopped off everything.
Number 10, Finish What You Started. Van Halen. It was 2 in the morning when Eddie Van Halen showed up at his neighbor's door in Malibu. That neighbor was Sammy Hagar. And Eddie had a guitar riff he couldn't wait until morning to share. They played on the beachfront porch until 4 a.m. and had the entire structure locked in. But here's the twist. Eddie left and Sammy went upstairs to bed. The phrase kept running through his mind. Come on, baby. Ow! Come on and finish that! Finish what you started. He jumped out of bed and wrote the entire lyric in one sitting, inspired by Eddie waking him up and leaving him wired. Eddie plugged his Stratocaster direct into the console for that crisp tone. It peaked at number 13 and gave the album its signature blend of rock with an unexpected country flavor. Sometimes the best songs come from the worst timing. Please. Number 9, Got My Mind Set on You. George Harrison. 25 years is a long time to wait to record a song. Back in 1963, before Beatlemania, George Harrison visited his sister in Illinois. At a St. Louis record store, he found a song by James Ray, a soul singer who disappeared and was living homeless. The song stayed with Harrison for a quarter century. Fast forward to his home studio in 1987. Gary Wright started singing the old James Ray song while playing keys. George immediately joined in because he knew all the lyrics by heart. Producer Jeff Lynne said, "Put that down." And within hours, they'd transformed a mournful 60s ballad into an upbeat rock hit. It hit number 1 on January 16, 1988. The exact week before the Beatles were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The last number 1 single by any former Beatle. Number 8, Need You Tonight. INXS. Andrew Farris was waiting for a cab to the airport when a guitar riff flashed into his head. You, girl, that makes me sweat. He told the driver to wait, ran back to his hotel room and grabbed his 8-track recorder. What should have taken minutes stretched to nearly an hour while the cab driver waited, getting more frustrated. He programmed a drum machine, laid down the riff, and made a cassette. I'm lonely. When he played it for Michael Hutchence, the singer wrote nearly all the lyrics in just 10 minutes. The band's manager played it for Atlantic Records in New York. Dead silence. The label hated it and offered $1 million to record a completely different album. The band refused. Only one young staffer believed in it. Andrea Guinness stood up and said, "This is a number 1 record." She was right. It hit number 1 and won 5 MTV Video Music Awards, including Video of the Year. There's something about you, girl. Number 7, One. Metallica. This was the song that changed everything for Metallica. James Hetfield had a nightmare scenario in his head, a living consciousness trapped in a body. Unable to move, speak, see, or hear. Their manager heard it and thought of Johnny Got His Gun, a novel about a World War I soldier who loses his arms, legs, and entire face. Hetfield read it, and the lyrics poured out. Darkness imprisoning me.
Help me! Somebody help me! Mother, where are you?
Kirk Hammett's guitar solo spirals into chaos alongside the story. The machine gun drums near the end weren't planned to match the war theme. It just came out that way. Here's the twist.
Of the 20th century.
They didn't watch the film until after recording the song. That's when they decided to make their first ever music video. Metallica eventually bought the rights to the entire film just to avoid paying royalties. The song earned them their first Grammy and proved heavy metal could be cinematic and unforgettable.
Inside me I'm screaming, nobody.
Number 6. Pour Some Sugar on Me. Def Leppard. This wasn't supposed to be on the album at all. Written late in the Hysteria sessions, it started with just a groove and a phrase. Producer Mutt Lange told them, "This needs to be at a pace that people can dance to. I'm talking about pole dancing." The production is what makes it explode. Layers of guitars, stacked vocals, and thundering drums built from hours of experimentation. Rick Allen, the one-armed drummer, created his parts using his custom electronic kit, triggering snare hits with his left foot. Rock radio initially rejected it completely. Too pop, too polished, too different. Mutt worked up a new mix for pop radio. And the label gave it full priority. 70 pop stations added it in the first week of April. Then it exploded. By summer, it had taken on a life of its own, pushing Hysteria past 12 million copies sold. Sometimes the songs you write last become the ones people remember first. Number 5. Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Poison. This showed a different side of a band, known for big hair and bigger hooks. Instead of volume and flash, it leaned into something quieter and personal. Bret Michaels wrote the lyrics after a late-night long-distance phone call that ended with Heartbreak. You can hear that moment in every verse. The acoustic guitar leads with nothing to hide behind, no distortion, no studio tricks, just 6 strings and a story about regret.
Every rose has its thorn.
Producer Tom Werman encouraged the band to keep it simple. Let the vocals and melody carry the emotion. That choice made all the difference. The track didn't just work on rock radio, it crossed over and brought in a whole new audience. By the end of 1988, it had become their biggest hit, the song most fans still remember them for. It proved that even the flashiest bands have something real underneath all the glitter. Number 4, Angel. Aerosmith. By the time this song came out, Aerosmith had already pulled off one of rock's most improbable comebacks. Angel showed they weren't just surviving the 80s, they were owning them. Unlike their earlier blues sound, this ballad leaned into keyboards and clean guitar textures. Steven Tyler's vocal is restrained in the verses, but when the chorus hits, he brings the full weight of everything Aerosmith had become. There's desperation in it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can face that.
And that's what makes it land. The track came from Permanent Vacation, written with hitmaker Desmond Child, a decision that reshaped their sound without losing their edge. Some purists complained they were selling out, but the fans heard a band that had survived addiction and irrelevance, coming back with something honest. It became one of their biggest hits of the decade. Angel proved that evolution isn't betrayal. Number 3, Bad Medicine. Bon Jovi. Everything about this song was built for a live crowd. The rhythm, the chorus, the attitude. It opened the New Jersey album with confidence.
Slop that we always get from these glamour rock pretty boys. They get
and set the tone for what would become one of the band's biggest records. Producer Bruce Fairbairn leaned into bigger drums and stacked vocals, giving it the punch of a classic arena anthem. Richie Sambora's guitar hit harder than usual, and the chorus bounced between John and the backing vocals, turning it into a full band experience. When the video dropped, filmed at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles, it added a layer of chaos that matched the song perfectly. Real fans, real sweat, real electricity. By the fall of '88, Bad Medicine was everywhere. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The second single from New Jersey to hit the top spot. Bad Medicine was the prescription that kept the fever going. #2, Sweet Child O' Mine. Guns N' Roses. The opening riff wasn't planned. Slash was sitting around the house in Griffith Park, just messing around on guitar. He came up with this riff, not thinking much of it. Rhythm guitarist Izzy Stradlin heard it and asked him to play it again. Within an hour, they'd turned it into something else entirely. Axl Rose wrote lyrics based on his girlfriend Erin Everly, completing them by the next afternoon. They recorded it at Rumbo Recorders with producer Mike Klink. Slash actually hated the song at first. He thought it was too much of a ballad for Guns N' Roses, but the rest of the band wouldn't drop it. When radio stations edited down Slash's guitar solo, Axl was furious. The song's climb was slow but unstoppable. On August 6, 1988, it became their first and only #1 single. Sometimes the songs you almost throw away define your entire career. #1, Love Bites, Def Leppard. This is the song that almost didn't exist. By 1988, Def Leppard had already transformed rock radio with Hysteria. But Love Bites gave it something completely different. A slow, burning power ballad that showed the band could do more than stadium anthems. Producer Mutt Lange layered dozens of vocal takes to create its haunting harmonies. It started as a country-tinged idea, but evolved into one of their most polished tracks. Here's the crazy part. When the band started touring, they'd never even played Love Bites all the way through, not even once. When it started climbing the charts, they took 2 days off and went into a studio in Vancouver just to learn their own song. On October 15th, 1988, Love Bites reached #1. Def Leppard's first and only #1 hit in America. The 5th single from Hysteria to crack the top 10. Love Bites was the crown jewel that made the impossible dream come true.